Here is Ron Brownstein's headline, the headline of Ron Brownstein piece, 104, please. Looking at the data, making a very important point, which is the in the first term, voters would often give President Trump low marks on a variety of issues, but they typically gave him high marks on his approval rating on dealing with the economy. And in this term, the economy numbers are way down. They're not his greatest strength. And there's lots of reasons for that, including the news coverage focusing on tariffs and some of the economic conditions that are a problem. Here is J.D. Vance last night with Laura Ingraham, 103, making a better case, frankly, than I've heard the president make or even Caroline Leavitt make regarding why the American people should trust that the tariffs are going to make their lives better.
Yeah, well,
103,
first of all, I
please.
think the president's been very clear. He wants to impose tariffs on foreign importers because he wants to bring investment and jobs back to the United States of America. So what I'd say to those business leaders is I think the president has actually been quite clear about what he wants to accomplish: build more in the United States of America, invest more in the United States of America, raise wages for workers in the United States of America, and you don't have to pay these tariffs at all. There is, as the president has said, a recognition that we have to accept, which is that, look, Joe Biden left this economy in a disaster. He ran the highest peacetime deficits we've ever had in this country. He left us with a significant debt crisis, and the president has come in and said, look, we have to accomplish a lot of things simultaneously. We have to bring down inflation, which I think we're making some good progress on. We have to actually ensure critical government services like Social Security and the military function for the American people, and we also have to force businesses to invest more, not overseas, not in Chinese workers, but in American workers.
Sean, I agree with you that the president cares what the CEOs think only slightly more than he cares what Adam Schiff thinks. And he doesn't really care if Phil Gramm writes an op-ed piece in the Journal saying whatever. But is he going to be unhappy with, as we head into the weekend and then next week, a judgment from the economic establishment, including some people on the Hill, that this thing isn't working?
I think that he is clearly, if you listen to the words that he's used, not just once, and this is where I always tell people there's a tell with Trump. If it's a one-off that he makes in a pool spray versus something that he says over the course of several weeks, it's a much more core thing. He keeps talking about market disruptions over and over again. He is prepared for this. He sees the stock market every day, the S&P, the NASDAQ. This is a guy who's willing to handle this disruption for what he believes is a larger, greater goal that will bring back manufacturing and jobs to America. And everybody who thinks that he cares about a one-day market correction is just missing the point about what's happening here. So I think what he cares about more are the farmers and ranchers and the people I was with yesterday, the pork producers. He's listening to them a lot more, who I think are willing to who want a long-term solution to this stuff, meaning that they're tired of not getting market access. They're tired of the excuses, and they're willing to let a president fight for them because they feel betrayed in the past. So I don't think the business leaders, I think they're kind of like tech leaders these days, which is, you want to be with me, great. But if you listen to that clip that we didn't hear the extent of it, like they think one trip to Mar-a-Lago and they're back in the fold. I don't think he really cares what they think. He and it is buttressed by his team, Lutnick, Bessent, Hassett, et cetera, believes that he is on the right path to get this country investment, jobs brought back home. And one last point, just as a point of correction, it was the National Symphony Orchestra, our National Symphony Orchestra, with a guest composer last night. So just to make sure
they're playing Russian music, I think.
It was a Russian composer, two Russian composers, guest composers. Yeah. It was our National Symphony. So it wasn't.
Yes, sir. I didn't mean to.
And by the way, JD's in the Midwest today, just as a side.
What's he doing there?
He's doing I think it's some kind of tour of companies, manufacturing companies.
Really? I thought that was next. I thought that was next week.
I know he's in the Midwest today. I thought that there's some kind of.
I thought that tour was next week. I thought it was like Tuesday. All right. Well, we'll look into that for the West Coast update. Dan, I know you're not exactly where Sean is on this, but is there a pressure point you see that you think might cause them to change course, particularly on tariffs?
Yeah, all the things that Sean just said, I think are pressure points. Look, you can say Trump, and look, the market moves up and down every day. So you don't, just like the Kamala crash was a joke and a one-day movement. What you look for are trend lines. And it's not just like Democratic business people or Democratic members of Congress saying like, we have concerns and this is potentially a problem. It is a lot of very, very friendly people to Trump. It is Republican members of Congress hearing from people locally. I go back to the business community wants certainty. They want clarity. They're getting neither. You look at JD Vance's interview, like that was comical how much he contradicted himself. The economy they inherited was like sluggish. It was not like 2020 when Joe Biden inherited the things that collapsed under COVID, or 2009 when Barack Obama had the financial crisis. The deficit in debts, like there's a lot of Republicans that have contributed to it. Inflation was probably the number one thing that got Trump elected. What does tariffs do? It causes inflation. Prices are going to go up. Now, you can argue workers, if somebody brings a factory back or something in a year from now or whatever, that is good. And it is. I'm not belittling that. But the idea that Trump ran on things are absolutely horrible. I have to blow the entire system up. We're going to have a year or two of inflation and real pain. Boy, did he said the complete opposite. It's easy. I'll do it immediately. I did it once. Everybody will be okay. Everything will be okay. Because that's how he always talks.
And I think he believes that.
But that's not what you're saying, Sean. What you guys are saying is we're going to go through some real pain. That is what you guys are all telegraphing.
Disruption.
Oh, okay. You can put lipstick with disruption on it.
Disruptive pain. It's disruptive pain. It's disruptive pain. I mean, we're already seeing disruption. You're already seeing disruption from ag producers who export in the Midwest. You're seeing disruption from businesses who don't know whether to invest. You're seeing
I don't doubt that, but I think the difference
401ks.
Right. And I think where at least, and here's the fair, just to be fair, if we get to August, September this year, or even a little further, and things are not going well, investments not coming home, I think you had a fair point. Yep. But the people that when I ask I don't just do this in a vacuum where I kind of just spew out, but when I have a conversation with these folks, whether it's, a retail operator who's getting products in, or yesterday when I was with the pork producers, and I said, okay, guys, let me ask you a question. How are these policies affecting you? Do you think it's okay? The answer I get is if it results in a long-term benefit to us, meaning we get more market access, prices go down, people are willing to do that. And if it doesn't get there, I'm with you. Right. But at some point, it doesn't just happen because you snap your finger.
Right. But let me give you two data points that I think are not disputable. Number one, no one outside the administration who's a serious economic person thinks this is going to work. No one. They may be wrong, but no one does. And that's just a fact. And number two, the president's executing largely what he said he would. And if you said he's executing what he said he would, and he has Scott Bessent, and he has Lutnick, and he has Hassett, thank you. He's got three guys with tons of credibility, two at least with tons of credibility with the markets, right? And they're all saying, no, these guys don't know what they're talking about. These guys are pursuing a failed policy that's doomed. You'd say that's a problem. It's a problem that they're doing exactly what they said with the exact people who they thought would have credibility, and it's not working. And it's not just not working for the Wall Street Journal editorial board. It's not working for tons of serious business people in the real economy. Donald Trump may not care about their opinions today, but they're serious people who contribute to making this American economy go fast and hard and envy of the world. And they think this is a bunch of garbage, that it's not backed by economics that's meaningful, and that's being executed in a way that's so chaotic that it's doomed. That's what they think.
And I think the beauty is that the reckoning comes. Either Donald Trump will be brilliantly right in several months, or Dan's going to gloat and be able to say, see, and that won't be. You can't, at some point, put lipstick on a pig. It either will be, it'll come to fruition, investment in jobs will continue to come back to America, and prices will do what they will. Other countries will take their tariffs down. But, we'll see. I think that I think enough people, at least that I talk to, are willing to give the president a longer leash because they're tired of the same crap happening over and over again and being denied market access.